You got
back to another episode of the Football is King podcast. Great intro, everybody. We've been getting ourselves real riled up over here. It's going to be a great episode as we talk about how all of our football teams suck yet again. It's going to be a good one. We're going to see over under 0.5. How many shirts does Shane tear this week? I'm betting the under because I hope he doesn't tear his shirt in half again.
I hate football. I'm done with football.
Shane is officially defeated. We appreciate everyone for tuning in. Thank you for the likes and the subscribes and all of those things. And the comments, we got some comments this time that we did not respond to because I didn't really know how to respond to that.
Who commented?
My mom.
Were they just
she commented about Taylor and Travis Kelce and things like that. But you know what? This is the college football episode for those tuning in. We're glad that you're here. We're going to have a great one because, as we've already stated, it was a rough weekend of college football. Yet again for the boys. For those who don't know, this is it's not a Texas A&M podcast. We talk about all things college football. However, all four of us are Texas A&M fans, and three of the four of us had high expectations going into the season, and I think it's safe to say that those three have had their dreams just absolutely crushed. And I can sit here with a big old smile on my face and say, I told you so.
Look, I told Austin before we started this whole shindig, I do this every year. Blake does this every year too. I know John.
I do it on a weekly basis. I'll have myself convinced we're going to win the SEC West Friday.
I'm currently at the point in morning where I wake up Sunday morning and I want to just cry. And I go, is this really worth it? Why do we do this to ourselves? And then so that's where I am in the morning process. 2 weeks ago, it was, we should have beat Alabama and we should be in the SEC championship.
We could have beat Alabama.
No, but that's where, Austin, this is where I was in the morning process. We should have beat Alabama. And
it's a loser mentality. Don't do that.
You know what? It is what it is. But then we go.
We're losers, Austin.
Yeah.
We should have beat everybody.
Losers have loser mentalities.
No. Our team are losers. On this podcast, we do not have loser mentalities. We are winners.
Oh, I'm full of a loser mentality. You got Jimbo Fisher running the goddamn team. We are losers. We are losers. You want to see losers? Just come to my house. I'm a big fat loser. I get hyped up every goddamn year that this big old buffoon with his mentally challenged son is going to turn the tide of this goddamn state, and this buffoon can't do shit but lose football games.
I was really excited to put that on the internet, and then you had to throw the mentally challenged part in there, Shane.
I don't have nothing against his son. I
was rooting for you.
I'm allowed to doubt mentally challenged people. I'm done.
He might be mentally challenged.
I am autistic. It is part of it. I have an autistic child. It's okay if I disparage mentally challenged people. I'm done with Aggie football.
Which of your children is autistic, and how did I miss it?
JoJo. Look at her hand. She goes.
I mean, I don't see JoJo very often, so I didn't ever know this.
Oh, she gets super excited. We do this.
She's not really autistic, by the way. Not diagnosed.
This is the most electric intro we have ever had to an episode. Hey, speaking of this, before we get into all things college football, it's time. It's October 17th, which means it's time for the State of the Union, which gosh dang it, Jonathan.
She does two hands just in a normal life, though.
Yeah, it just doesn't stop.
All right. Focus up.
She's like Mr. Krabs finding a new recipe for the Krabby Patty. He's
like, all right. The State of the Union. And the union we are talking about specifically today is the referees union. I would like our opinion in college, professional, high school, I don't care. Football referees, how do we feel about how is the union doing at this moment in time on October 17th, 2023?
I can't even remember all the plays during Texas A&M where I'm like, what in the world did they just call? And it wasn't their fault we lost. But the reffing situation in college and the NFL is not in a good place.
No, my favorite part is that my in-laws are currently members of the Big 12, and they're over here like, I can't wait till we make it to the SEC because the referees will be better. And I just keep telling them, I'm like, no,
they're 20 times worse.
Yeah, I think they're pretty equal. They just all suck.
They suck.
It is about time. We talk about how much money these leagues make. College football is a money-making business. You can employ full-time referees and pay them. The NFL 100% should. Those dudes are making enough money to be full-time employees. College, they're not making enough money to be full-time employees. They don't make that much money.
How do we not have NFL and college football, referees that know how to work the freaking replay? Like, give me a freaking video game guy up there that can fast forward and rewind and do all the things efficiently. I'm sorry. We need this to be quick.
When you have a drop pass and the guy's back hits the ground and the ball's in front of him, and they love showing every angle behind him. It's like, fellas, if you go to the one angle and that shows the front of him, we will see exactly what happened.
Yeah, and also this is a translation also to I hate to do this because a lot of people are not fans of the game of soccer, but no replays for anything controversial. Like if it's a catch, show it to me in slow motion, but no targeting or anything should ever be shown in slow motion because it will always look 1,000,000% worse. Stop showing me
on targeting.
Show slow motion replays. They're stupid. They're pointless.
I love that on targeting, especially when it's on the running back and they show a linebacker coming in slow motion. The running back dips his head, so then he gets hit in the head, and it looks awful in slow motion. But if you watch it in the heat of the game, first of all, targeting should never be reviewed. Yeah. But if they watch it in the heat of the game, it looks like a normal football play.
Or there was one. There was one in the NFL. It was in college football. It was in. I know what it was. It was in the Rutgers game. I was watching. This is the little bit of football I watched. I watched like 15 minutes of the Rutgers game on Saturday because it was on the quad box at where I was at, and it was 4th and 1, and Rutgers linebacker reads it great, goes straight through the hole. Oklahoma drill meets him there, tackles it, just destroys the guy. Helmet right to the chest, but the very top of his helmet touched the face mask of the running back, and then they reviewed it for targeting, and they showed the referee was a still image and then in slow motion of the contact of the helmet. And it's like, what are we doing? It doesn't show that he just hit him square in the chest, but the top of his helmet touched the very front of his face mask, so his head went slightly backwards. It's stupid.
I legitimately believe, as a fan of college football, and I believe every other fan of college football would agree, we have got to inject, with targeting specifically, not with other calls, with targeting, there has to be some subjectivity. Every single play that the guy hits, their heads touch is not targeting.
No, I'm very rarely a fan of putting an ex-player in the booth to help referees. I don't think it's a good idea. I do think it is a good idea for college football for targeting because I do think because also the name of the penalty is called targeting, which means there is intent to injure or do something shady.
Yep.
Yeah.
If it's incidental, he's not targeting him. It's just an accident. Like
you can tell when somebody's doing it intentionally.
The Colorado State guy against Travis Hunter. That's the definition of targeting. It was a late hit, but he doesn't hit him in the head.
Oh, he just popped his spleen open.
Yeah, he just popped his spleen open. But yeah, whatever. But I mean, you've got your moments, right? You go watch early 2000 NFL and college football. Targeting is a thing of the past. Like it existed.
Absolutely. I am okay. I'm okay with targeting being a rule, but you got to have some ability to be like, okay, he was not intending to do that. And you can most of the time tell when they're trying to do it.
Or if we're going to do it, you better start ejecting running backs left and right.
Exactly. That's the problem.
The
You
problem
put these defenders in horrible positions.
They're not taking any human element into anything. It's all and this is my proposal, and this is probably, once again, I'm full of stupid takes. But if you want to start replaying targetings and whatever, just replay every play, because if you slow-mo every play down, you can find a holding, you can find a pass interference.
Oh, don't do that. Well, yeah, if we do that, the game will never end because there will be a penalty on every play.
I don't actually want that to happen, but the way they call targeting in college football specifically, it's like, look, if you slow-mo every play, I could find you something on every play that is a piss poor.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, targeting is the stupidest penalty in football.
It's dumb.
There's a reason why targeting doesn't exist in the NFL, because it's just stupid.
Yeah.
But they'll call unnecessary roughness, but it's obvious when that happens.
But unnecessary roughness doesn't eject you from the football game.
Well, that's the big thing. There should be no ejection.
Unless,
you could do like a flagrant. It's one. You could do like a flagrant 2.
No, I mean in the NFL, you get 2.
Oh, if you get 2, yeah.
Yeah, unnecessary.
That's what I think. You could do like the NBA where they do flagrant 2s and flagrant 1s. There are plays that are not that you could probably justify having a penalty on.
Yeah,
don't need to result in an ejection.
Yeah, and there's plays that, like in Dominican Sue stomping on a guy, he should be ejected. He should be ejected for that.
He should get an award.
Or if you see a guy like
maybe both.
If a wide receiver is running across the middle and the safety obviously launches with his head and hits him up high, okay, let's eject him. But he did that on purpose.
But when the safety hits him square in the chest, but he hits him, and this is a problem.
And then the rebound of the head hits him.
This is a problem in the NFL too. Anytime a quarterback throws a hospital ball over the middle, it's a guaranteed 15-yard penalty every time, and it should be a 15-yard penalty on the quarterback for throwing a freaking hospital ball. Like you got your receiver murdered for no reason.
Yeah,
it's the defender's job to hold up.
That's poor quarterback play.
Defenders are starting to get injured as well, but they're not going to do a study on how many defenders are getting injured because they're not tackling properly anymore.
I have a better idea.
All right, let's hear.
I know Jonathan's idea.
Let's get rid of the fucking call altogether. Who fucking cares? You have a helmet on. You're deciding to play football.
No, okay, we can't allow people to start Indomitian suing people on the football field. That's not fair.
Dude. You don't have to play.
Okay. All right.
I agree with the sentiment.
So my strategy is on every play, just even after the play, go and bust. Austin, might as well bring a lead pipe onto the field and Tanya Harding.
It wasn't a rule all the time. It hasn't always been a rule. So what makes the difference?
Unnecessary roughness has always been a rule in the NFL.
Okay, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying targeting.
Oh, targeting is stupid. Get rid of it. Yeah,
get rid of it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Fucking cares?
No, I'm okay.
I want ear hole freaking blocks brought back. I want guys getting knocked the fuck out. I want to see real fucking contact here.
Oh, did y'all see that YouTube video going around that was like, I miss mid-2000s football? Where it was just people getting slaughtered. And I was like, yes.
Bring it back.
Yeah.
Palomalu killed 10 guys on the field at least.
You have to play. This is what I don't understand. This is the whole theory of we have to protect the players. They don't have to fucking play.
Yeah, I will say, I understood back in the day why targeting should exist in college football because the players weren't getting paid.
Now they're getting paid.
Now they're getting paid millions. Let's go. It's free range.
On top of the fact that they were getting a free education, so who fucking cares? I don't give a fuck. I do not care at all.
I'm okay with the penalty. I get it.
No.
But there has to be some subjectivity.
For what reason?
Yeah.
For
what reason? We're using.
It's the longevity of the game. There's too many CTE studies and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I don't care about CTE whatsoever. Dude? If you, okay.
It's the lawsuits though. The leagues won't exist because there'll be so many lawsuits.
Sign a fucking waiver.
Waivers don't do nothing.
Dude, you're telling me the NFL is worried about lawsuits?
Absolutely.
Yes. They're
That's
terrified of lawsuits all the time.
That's why this exists.
Hire better lawyers and find a way around it.
The NFL's got the best lawyers, but the problem is they're expensive, and the NFL doesn't like paying a lot of money.
The point is, fine, just slash every contract whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, just look at Antonio Brown is the perfect case study for CTE.
For sure.
He'll open up his brain and it'll look like a mushroom, a shriveled up mushroom.
But
it'll look like a dehydrated mushroom.
Ask me, Austin. Ask me.
No, I know you don't care.
I don't fucking care. I don't care. I do not give a shit about these people's health. I don't care. They make millions of dollars to play a game that we played as kids for fun. I do not give a flying fuck if they die at the age of 45 because their brain gives out.
I think
that's not realistic. That's not realistic.
The game.
That's not realistic.
They didn't have to play. They could have just.
I do understand the sentiment.
I get the sentiment, but it's not realistic.
Why is it not realistic?
Because there'll be a billion lawsuits every year.
If you don't want to get hurt, go sell real estate.
The NFL will be in a billion lawsuits every year. Dude, they already are.
There's got to be a way around it.
I will go if it keeps going the way that we're talking with this. I will go start kicking balls, and I will become an NFL kicker. Go get injured on purpose, and then sue the NFL so that I can just do whatever I want.
There's got to be a way around it.
I'm in.
There's got to be a way around it.
The way around it is this. You got to take away the obvious cheap shots to the head. The Joe Flacco, while he's sliding, just gets knocked unconscious, or Andy Dalton kind of like those plays they're
unnecessary.
They're penalties. They are unnecessarily rough. However, the blindside block where a guy puts his shoulder into your chest, let's bring those back, because that's not a CTE issue. That is just, people think football is too rough, so let's make it softer. Yeah. Like there are both in college and professional football, there has been a drastic correction.
Yeah, I agree.
But there are some hits back in the day that are just
that
bad.
Florida documentary, that one safety getting him across the field. Yeah. That was.
Or Polamalu killing a guy before he even caught the punt. Like he literally, we talk about these DeMar Hamlin situations. He could have killed the guy.
That you can't do.
I do miss Troy Polamalu though. That was electric football. That was.
No, Troy Polamalu was great at football. I'm just saying that one specific hit should
always unnecessary. Be a you're literally gonna kill a dude if you do that.
Helmet
I agree with the helmet to helmet not being 100% of the time being a penalty, but there are times when it should be a penalty
for sure.
But there are times when it shouldn't be a penalty also.
There are times, and if we're going to go with helmet to helmet should always be a penalty, then
which is basically what we do.
We need to no, we don't, because then we need to get on the running backs.
College practically does.
We need to get on the running backs then, because defenders can only get so low, and it's the running back should not be allowed to that's my problem.
And the running back's always trying to get lower. That's the problem.
And the running back is always leading with the crown of their helmet.
The defenders are basically having to get on the ground on their stomachs and army crawl to get their feet.
Yeah, the defenders are basically just told to shoelace tackle LeGarrette Blount, and it's just good luck, buddy.
Look, I'm no case study here, but in my prime in 7th grade, my signature move was put the head down and spin, because I knew I could get out of any tackle that way because I was faster. And but nowadays you get these.
I don't know about any tackle.
Well, most tackles.
I remember you getting tackled a few times.
Yeah, I remember it. Pretty sure I tackled you a couple times.
We put you in the bushes a few times, Shane.
Yeah, but most tackles I could get out of just doing the whole.
No, legitimate.
Especially if you were the queer, we smeared.
No, Jonathan. I meant specifically in Henry Middle School versus Cedar Park Middle School football games. I'm pretty sure I tackled Shane a couple times.
That's prime time football.
With my helmet sitting up like this.
Austin's helmet wasn't even protecting his face.
They didn't have helmets big enough for my stupid head.
I think like if you're gonna penalize defense, you gotta penalize the offensive player for doing this. Like
for sure.
If you're gonna do
How
that,
about we just don't give a fuck if they hit helmet to helmet?
Oh, I don't.
It depends. It depends.
I
think
allow somebody to use some judgment. Just use some judgment.
Just use some Jonathan. Unlike
I think we
classic,
all be a fan of that.
Like if there is a guy who is jumping 10 feet in the air and Ed Reed is just full on, just like submarining with him with the helmet and hits him in the or prime example. No. The New Orleans Saints versus Los Angeles Rams, terrible non-PI call in the playoffs. Where was it Robley or Roble or however you say his name? Just blew him up, helmet to helmet, didn't play the ball. That should be a penalty all day long for two reasons. It should have been pass interference, and it also should have been,
it sounds like it was pass interference. I don't remember the exact play, but it sounds like it was.
It knocked the Saints out of the playoffs, and it was.
Well, the Rams won that game, and the Saints didn't get a chance at the Super Bowl for that.
But
should have been pass interference. I don't believe it should have been a.
But
anything like that.
There are moments, right? The whole point of all of these penalties was to take care of the launching. And it's like, just because our helmets touched doesn't mean that I launched.
If I'm a defense coordinator, I want every one of my players launching as fucking hard as they possibly can.
I'm okay with the launching not being a thing necessarily. Once again, we need a guy that can use some
parallel to the ground with your helmet directly towards that dude's fucking chest.
They've just taken it too far. That's the problem. That's the main thing. It's not.
I am on Blake that we need the common sense, which is why I'm on team for these kind of penalties. I do kind of want someone in the box. Like, do we need someone launching their face towards Andy Dalton's face while he's sliding? So not only does he get hit in the face, then his head immediately hits the back as well.
He's sliding. That's not what I'm saying.
That's bad.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying in a regular football play where a guy is running, I do not care if you take your helmet and you shove it straight through his fucking ear and you take his fucking head off.
For sure. I want the Reggie Bush hit against the Eagles every Sunday. I want it every single Sunday.
Gosh. No,
I want that play 99 times a week. I guarantee you if that in that play,
that was the quarterback's fault too.
It's the quarterback's fault. There is zero helmet-to-helmet contact in that play. I guarantee you if that play happened today,
he got lit up like a freaking freight train.
I just want you to be able to actually hit.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I do not like that. Also, fuck these quarterbacks, dude. You're playing, you should be able to get hit. The fact that last
night's was terrible.
Well,
Herbert, while being sacked, slid and got a 15-yard penalty.
My guy, was it Curse? Literally had already committed to jumping at him
before
they were
Herbert
like
even
so
slid.
Obvious.
He also doesn't hit him in the head. Like it's just bad.
The broadcasters were acting like it was so obvious, and I'm like, he slid at the literal last minute.
We already know the broadcasters are always going to agree with the refs on the field, like every time.
Oh, Dean Blandino, you want to talk about a qualm? I'm so done with Dean flipping Blandino.
Dean,
in the moment,
Dean and Gene.
Dean
and Gene are worthless.
Yeah. In the moment, I can see why the ref made this call. It's going to be a good call and blah, blah, blah. Screw you, Dean Blandino, you big old buffoon. I send his ass back to the monkey zoo. Get his ass out of here. I'm tired of watching his ass. It's terrible.
John Perry is the worst of the three.
Oh, yeah, he's terrible.
John Perry is the worst of the three. It could be the Saints versus Rams plays in the playoff. And John Perry would say, that's not pass interference. Definitely not. I agree with the referee on the field. He will never, ever, ever disagree with the referee on the field.
Talk about referee nut hugging. Those three in the booth are got to be the absolute worst.
Shane's camera is about to give me an epileptic seizure.
As soon as he went on his Dean Blandino rant, it got real close into his face.
Okay, but it keeps alternating.
Going in and out.
It's got to be
like this.
this shit's going in and out. I'm telling you, this thing ain't charging. I don't know what the deal is. It's probably because I'm disparaging the NFL and the NCAA.
Did that turn Shane's camera off for everybody else or just me?
No, just you. I can still see him.
Bummer. I changed it to Shane, we might have to have you leave the call and come back because this is terrible. Your camera's zooming in and zooming out, then zooming in and zooming out like every 3 seconds.
I've got some real good shit to say too.
All right, well, just leave the call real fast and come back 2 seconds later. It'll be fine.
I'm probably gonna just have to get on my phone.
Oh,
we'll
wait,
figure it out.
Wait.
You're good.
You're good.
Just hold that pose. All right, and that is 25 minutes on NFL referees. Sorry, and NCAA referees. That's the State of the Union. I thought the State of the Union went pretty well. Let's get into the fun stuff. All right.
Football violent again. That's a new shirt. New shirt.
We have too many shirts. We need one good shirt. And then let's go from there.
Multiple shirts. Shane, you're doing it again.
No, all right. Shane, I'm about to kick you out.
I can't tell if he's frozen or he's holding that view.
I don't know. He's done. I'm done with that. The Aggies lost again. Surprise, surprise.
Oh, Lord. Guys, I have some thoughts.
Less rushing yards than penalties. Penalty yards.
It's the most predictable thing. This is the sad part. Every week is the most predictable event of all time. We know exactly what's going to happen. We'll probably be winning for about 99% of the game. We will find a way to lose, and it will be like.
But we weren't winning 99% of that game.
We were until what? Mid fourth quarter. That's when they had the punt return.
I don't know. To be honest, I was at a music festival, so I didn't watch.
We were winning most of that game, I'm pretty sure, and then the punt return. As soon as that punt return happened, I said, "Oh, we're dead. We're dead." My biggest pet peeve is when we have 3 timeouts or 2 timeouts or whatever it was before half, and we have a minute left on the clock, and Jimbo just stands there, and you know he's going to kneel it. You just know he's going to kneel it. It makes no sense to me at all. Like, Alabama will do that. They'll end up scoring at the end of the half. Then they'll get the ball to start the second half. They'll score again. The game's over. They just eliminated you from the game.
Petrino is obviously not calling his offense.
No, Petrino might be calling the offense, but he is not making decisions.
But he's not making decisions. And Jimbo's giving him, this is what you're allowed to do.
Yeah. Also, Blake, to go back to your point, we were quote unquote winning the whole game. It was 10-7, and then
that's when the punt return happened.
But that was halfway through the third quarter.
Oh, was it really?
That they took the lead, and then we never got it back. So I mean, it was a close game the entire game.
Oh, for sure.
It was always within one score, no matter who was winning. It was always within one score the entire game.
Still should have won the game.
Oh no! We all should have is. That's a loser mentality right there. We could have won the game.
I am a loser. Jimbo's my coach.
Here's my thoughts on Jimbo right now. I thought at the beginning of the year there was nothing he could do that would get him fired. I think he's going to get fired.
I still don't think he does.
I hope that y'all watch Yellowstone.
No. Who replaces him is my question.
I don't know that.
Dead.
Here's the problem with that thought process.
His son needs a goddamn kidney transplant. Kill that son of a bitch. Leave him out of here. Get him gone.
Austin, here's the problem with that thought process. I don't think the people that are making the decision care. They think they can get whoever they want.
Yeah,
but they can't.
But that's what they're going to think they can.
All right,
but back.
Obviously, we know more than everyone in all of football. So let's go through it. Who do we think it is realistic that we could get that is better than Jimbo Fisher?
Mike
Elko, Dan Lanning.
I don't think we get Dan Lanning.
I think we could.
I think we could because he's from the South, so he probably wants to get out.
And we could give him money, and he'll want to be back in the SEC.
Why does he want to be back in the SEC?
He was a Georgia guy.
I know he went to
and
Georgia.
Do you want to be?
He coached at Georgia.
Okay.
Do you want to be
OC at Georgia?
Do you want to be at
Who
Oregon
cares?
when you have to fly to
Why do
Rutgers
you
on
want to
Saturday
go
morning?
from the top program or one of the top programs in your conference to being
But now you're not. They're
trash.
not now. They're not in the Big Ten.
Oh. All right. Who's better than them in the Big Ten? Besides Ohio
it's
State
always
and
going to be
Michigan.
Ohio State, Michigan. It's always Ohio State, Michigan.
That's it. So you can be the third best team in your program, or you can be the 12th.
But think about you're trying to sell.
Who's the fourth? If you say Penn freaking State, I'm gonna lose my brain.
USC's there too.
USC is garbage.
They're a bigger brand than Oregon. I would say
they're a bigger brand.
I
agree. They're garbage.
They suck. USC sucks.
I think they're going to be looking for a new coach here shortly too. To be honest,
bro, I'm telling you right now, we could get Dan Lanning tomorrow.
I don't know about Dan Lanning.
Dan Lanning comes over and is like, all right, sweet. I went from being a possible playoff team every year to being guaranteed I will never make the playoff.
Whoa.
Not guaranteed.
Oh, Texas A&M is never making the playoff.
There's about to be 12 teams in the playoff.
Texas A&M is not. Texas A&M in the next decade will make the playoff 0 times.
We should have in 2020. We should have been in there.
Correct. That is the 1 year we deserve to make the playoff. We will never be there again.
I don't agree with that.
I hate how pessimistic you are.
Realistic.
Nope.
Oklahoma and Texas are better teams than us, and we have to play them now.
I swear I'm going to make another Columbine if you say that shit.
All right, don't you dare say that, you did. I know you're trying to just go for the sound clips now, but that's just one, it's not true. And two, it's just a terrible thing to say.
It's a terrible thing to say.
This is a bad thing to say.
Why is it terrible? Have you seen what's going on in Iran or whatever the shit that country's called? It's not that terrible. Shit happens.
That is also terrible, but you can't sit here and tell me that right now that Texas and Oklahoma are not better football teams than A&M.
Right now, yes.
This year, yes. But if they asked the same question 3 years ago, I would say the exact opposite.
Yeah.
Not Oklahoma.
Maybe not Oklahoma. But if you said that, I don't know, 2014. I mean, it's cyclical.
Correct.
It's cyclical.
Texas before then was going like this, and A&M was going up. But now it has switched, where Texas is on their way up and A&M is just going.
I do think that Texas is aided by a couple external factors at the moment because their hardest game, they play one game the entire year.
For sure.
Beat Alabama too. They play 2 games the entire year.
No. In the previous years, the Big 12 has been competitive.
Okay, yes. And they've never won the Big 12. They haven't won the Big 12 since what, 2010?
I'm not saying that Texas is the greatest team on God's green earth. I'm saying that if Texas and A&M played each other in the past 3 years, Texas wins 2 of the 3 years.
No.
2020, 2021. I don't remember how good Texas was in 2021.
They weren't.
They lost to Kansas.
That is the year I would give A&M the edge.
A&M
loses their starting quarterback every year.
Oh, we are backup QB.
And I told you, Max Johnson isn't it.
And Max Johnson's about to get hurt because he gets killed on every freaking play.
Yeah,
he's not
hurt. He got hurt against Tennessee. He hurt his hand. He just
Max Johnson is not. Now, I'm not saying Max Johnson is bad, but A&M's offense is so bad they need a mobile quarterback, and Max Johnson is slower than Thomas Patrick Edward 22. Brady's Jr. the second, or whatever the fuck his name is.
Negative 22 rushing yards.
Our offensive line couldn't block the goddamn Shakers Cup.
Offensive line's a problem.
Do you want to know why Texas is going up and A&M is going down? Because Texas completely rebuilt their offensive line in the transfer portal by paying them. And now their O-line looks pretty decent.
You know what the problem? Another problem with Jimbo Fisher. Another problem with Jimbo Fisher. He hires Steve Adazio to be our O-line coach, right? Steve Adazio comes in last year. Our O-line was a problem the entire year. And they never got better. In fact, they got worse throughout the year.
Yeah.
Then we come this year. Instead of saying, hey, Steve, you're welcome to go somewhere else, but you're not going to be our coach anymore. He comes back. O-line, terrible.
And before this, over the past 6 years before that, how many offensive linemen went from A&M in the first round of the NFL draft? A lot.
Thank you, Tim Turner.
But now with what we have, we don't have any first-round talent on the offensive line.
We returned every single lineman we had.
Our offensive line couldn't field an XFL team. Lord have mercy. I mean, come on.
And Bryce Foster, who's supposed to be so good, can't even snap the ball half the time.
He sucks.
Yeah.
His snaps are always low. They're all
He rolls them. He literally rolls them.
Yeah,
dude,
it's bad.
Honestly, I don't blame Max for this shit. I really
no.
The offensive
I'm just telling you that Max doesn't fit our offense.
No, I might agree with that. But I mean, when you literally half the time can't field a snap because it's so god darn terrible.
Yeah.
And then the other half is you've got 2.2 seconds to get the ball out. That's set up for failure. It's terrible.
Our offense is designed to run the ball well and then use the play action pass to give our wide receivers who are really good.
We ain't running the ball well.
We cannot run. Dude, I've never missed Devon Achane in my life more than I did these past 2 weeks.
It's Devin, isn't it? Devin Achane?
No,
it's Devon. I'm pretty sure it's Devon, but then it's not Achane, it's Achane, which is stupid, but whatever.
I'm fully off the Jimbo bandwagon regardless.
I'm off the Jimbo bandwagon as well. I'm just saying I don't think he gets fired.
Bruce Feldman.
Unless we lose like every game from here on out.
Well, Bruce Feldman tweeted something today saying that they all have sources. He said that his source told him that A&M will find the money, and he tweeted it again today.
A&M has the money. It's already there.
Yeah.
They have the money. It's just a matter of pulling the trigger. And currently, this is why I actually think it's going to happen. We lost 2 5-stars today.
I saw one. I didn't know we lost 2 of them.
I thought I saw 2.
I think it was just the one wide receiver.
No, we lost a defensive linebacker too.
Oh, I didn't even see that. I just saw the receiver.
And both of those guys are favored to go to Texas now.
Look,
of course.
Best case scenario.
And that fallout. If we start losing more and more recruits, and then say we drop another game, bro, he's gone. There's no ands, ifs, or buts. Like, he has to be fucking gone.
I'm okay with losing recruits, but you can't lose recruits to Texas. You can't.
I mean,
you can't no, dude. You can't lose. I understand.
No, I agree.
Recruiting matters,
but
recruiting does matter.
No, but we all know living in Texas.
No,
if you 100%. Lose recruits to Texas, that is worst case scenario.
100%.
I mean, it's not worst case scenario. There are 2 teams in Texas. The recruits are going to go to Texas or Texas A&M. That's a terrible take. If you lose them from A&M, they're going to go to Texas. And there's people that are they're going to lose from Texas and they're going to go to Texas A&M. If you're losing recruits to Baylor, then you have a problem. Texas is a bigger school that pays more money. Quit acting like you're better than them. Texas has been better than A&M for forever. Get your head out of your ass.
Why's your camera off?
Because I can't fix it. I don't know why it's not working.
Dude, here's the thing about the recruiting thing. I know we talked about this last week. Recruiting doesn't matter in the eyes of most people. The past 11 years, there's a ratio, right? The recruiting ratio that teams with more 5-stars and 4-stars than 50% of their team lineup, they win national titles.
Yeah, but we fit that. We fit that, and we go 8-4.
No one's done it without it.
We have in that ratio. In that ratio, whatever it's called, we're number 3 behind Georgia and Alabama, 100%. I believe, and we go 8-4.
I agree. That's not a recruiting problem. That's a coaching problem.
Recruits nothing. I don't care about stars.
It's a
what did I say last
year? No one has won a national title without that ratio.
No,
the blue chip ratio.
The blue chip ratio.
I said this exact thing last year. I said, whatever recruiting class they get, I don't give a shit. What Nick Saban, I said this in particular, what Nick Saban does in particular is he takes these whatever stars they are, that these doofuses that couldn't even make me a pot of coffee because they are so terrible at their job because they're ranking high school kids, is he takes these talents and he actually turns them into talents. What Jimbo does is he takes these so-called talents and turns them into Starbucks workers. That's what he does.
That's what I'm saying. It's not the recruiting that's the problem. It's the coaching.
Yes.
Sure.
But you have to have the recruits to be a program.
No. I'm not saying that you don't need recruiting. I'm just saying, like, coaching.
That's the one thing Jimbo does well.
We're not sorry. As an A&M fan, my goal never is to win a national championship because we're not there yet. When we get there, sure. Right now, I'm settling for winning, not the SEC. My goal, the goal of all goals.
Loser mentality.
No, this is realism. The most realistic goal, and this is not realistic, but like the highest you can set our bar is winning the SEC West.
And that's fine.
We've literally never done it.
This was our year to do it. God darn it. I hate this god darn stupid ass coach. This was the god darn year to win the freaking SEC West, and we can't even freaking beat Tennessee, who sucks at football. Shit.
You're not wrong.
That's the worst part. Is Tennessee is not good.
No, they're not.
They're not good.
But like,
we should freaking beat the Tennessee Volunteers. Son of a bitch.
But I'm not sitting here like, oh, we need to have the blue chip ratio so that we can win a national title. I'm not looking for a national title. I'm looking for an SEC West. And like, so we need the recruits and we need the coaching.
I want to go to Alabama, to freaking whatever that state is called. I want to go to Georgia, Austin. I'm tired of this shit. This is 20, 30 years of this bullshit.
Well,
I'm tired of it. I'm absolutely tired of it.
We've been in the SEC for 11 years, so
here's what
20.
Here's what I literally want. This is what I want, right? Think about Clemson and Georgia. If we take a journey back a decade. And you think about Clemson and Georgia. They were Clemsoning, right? They could never win the big game. Georgia, with Mark Richt, could never win the big game. Oh, guess what? We never even get to a big game because we've lost 4 games before the clock hits November.
Yeah.
I want to be – I'd love for them to be like, look at them. They're Jimboing again. And Jimboing not being losing 5 games in the regular season. I want Jimboing to be – oh, we lose a big game and we don't make it to the SEC title game.
Y'all are taking this as I'm saying
last year.
A
bowl game.
Y'all are taking this as I'm fine with where A&M is right now. I am definitely not. We are underachieving every single year because every year we're in the top 3 for recruiting, which means that the coaching is not good. But also, on that same note, I do think that some of our players that are these high-level recruits are not that amazing.
Look,
I agree with that.
The little chubby I have before the season starts, I want it to get a little harder. And the goddamn chubby goes away within goddamn 2 weeks. I'm tired of this shit.
Let's relax. Hey, let's relax, Jimbo over there. All right, buddy. Let's not have a heart attack. None of us are close enough to get when you have a heart attack to be able to supply any relief for you.
This is the best case scenario. This is best case scenario. I'm honestly tired of it. This is 30 years. I've been an Aggie fan my whole life just because I was trying to go against the grain, and it's brought me a lifetime of disappointment. But honestly, the best case scenario at this rate is Jimbo freaking at one of his goddamn farms I own in Texas is a bull tramples his dumb ass and he dies. And we don't have to pay him his money and we just move on. We just go away and we get a new coach. That's honestly best case scenario at this rate.
But still, no one has been able to answer my question, in my opinion, to the level that I want it to be. Realistically, Who can we get to replace Jimbo Fisher that is going to get us over that hump?
I don't care. Marty Schottenheimer. I don't give a shit. Someone besides Jimbo Fisher.
I think Mike Elko could do it.
I think so too.
I don't necessarily trust Elko.
But
listen,
how is Elko's Elko used to work for us, obviously,
and his defenses were great.
But are we sure that ended like he didn't burn any bridges on his way out?
I don't give a fuck.
Are we sure no one said something offensive to him where he's like, "Hey, I don't want to be here anymore"?
Okay. We made him the highest paid defensive coordinator in football.
I understand.
I think,
and then he left.
Well, I mean, he got a
head coaching job after years of not taking one.
Yeah, he did interview for a couple of years before he finally got one.
The thing is he could. I mean, this is my view on it. This is why I think Mike Elko is a good idea. Good recruiter.
He's a great coach. He literally just won a game that he shouldn't have with his backup quarterback.
And he has completely turned around Duke, and Duke was atrocious.
Okay, whoa.
David Cutcliffe.
Sorry, your first point. He does not recruit on the level that we need recruits.
Dude.
Bro. Honestly, I think if you get
I'm not
Mike
saying
Elko
he's not a good
Bobby
recruiter.
Fisher,
Jonathan, we need to recruit to play with the schedule that we play coming up. We need to be 1 or 2 in the country. Great. And Elko doesn't do that.
Great. Hire really good coordinators and assistant coaches with great
and pay them lots of money.
I don't know that I trust Elko necessarily. I love Mike Elko. Loved him when he was our defensive coordinator. I don't know that after 2 years of being at Duke has been like with David Cutcliffe. They had a couple of years there where they were pretty good, and I would never be like, "Please hire David Cutcliffe."
God fucking awful.
Yes, at his last years they were terrible. I agree. It is Duke though.
And he walked in and did what?
They were pretty good last year, and they're pretty good this year.
Pretty good last year. They made a bowl game in the first time in 5 years.
Look, he brought College Game Day to their campus.
I mean.
I'm not saying he's not good.
And on top of that, you want to talk about how Jimbo doesn't do transfer portals. What is his whole team at Duke right now?
Transfers.
Well, I think Jimbo used the transfer portal.
He has a shit ton of transfers.
I think Jimbo used the transfer portal.
Not like he needs to.
Yeah, maybe for the goddamn Special Olympics.
I'm fine. Elko would be fine.
If you had Elko and you brought in a really, really good offensive coordinator, you'd be good.
I'm saying, who can we get that is a who can we get that is a guarantee? Right? There are so many
offensive coordinators.
Shane, shush.
I'm fired up.
The top team. I know you are, so that's why I'm telling you to shush. We need to think with our brains right now. The teams that are the rich teams, the good teams. When they have coaching vacancies, they bring in known quantities. And Mike Elko, in my brain, is not a known quantity. He's a great coach. He's not a guarantee. Jonathan, you cannot guarantee that Mike Elko brings A&M where they need to be.
I hear you.
I don't know if that's true, though.
There's a known quantity.
Bill O'Brien.
No, I don't know, but like Texas, like think about their hires. Like Texas hired Tom Herman, Charlie Strong. I mean, they were.
And at that time, Texas was not a guaranteed great program like they were supposed to be.
Ohio State even. Ryan Day had never been a head coach, had he?
Let's hire Art Briles.
Ohio State brought in a guy that they knew could win the Big Ten. Could he win a national championship guaranteed? No. But they brought in someone that they knew could guarantee them win the Big Ten every year.
He wasn't a proven commodity necessarily. He had never been a head coach.
I'm not saying they have to be a proven commodity.
He's an urban disciple for sure.
But he is a guy that can follow.
That means he's finger banging that thing.
Okay, that's possible. I'm saying they brought in a guy that they know would follow the system that has already worked and that it will continue to work.
I mean,
we have a system that is broken, so we need someone who can come in and is a proven system That's what we need.
Bill O'Brien. Give me Bill O'Brien.
That's Literally the worst coach you could ever say in my brain is Bill O'Brien. He is literally the stupidest head coach he's stupider to the Brandon Staley.
And he's a fraud. You convinced him to make.
He was up 24-0 against the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City and decided to fake a punt in his own side of the field and lost all momentum, and he lost by over 20 points. Bill O'Brien is the biggest doofus of all the doofuses.
I feel like he could connect with college kids, though.
I don't care. He's an idiot.
If they hire Bill O'Brien, I will stop being a fan of Texas A&M.
Is Art Briles off the table? Can we get Art Briles?
Off the table. Take him off the table.
Urban Meyer is also off the table.
Michigan State's getting Urban Meyer. Did y'all hear that?
What about Coach JB from Last Chance U? Is he off the table?
He said on his podcast like a month ago that A&M had called him in the past.
If you think that Coach JB is a better coach than Jimbo Fisher, who has won a national championship, you're stupid.
No, I'm not. I don't think that, but he swore that.
Oh, sweet. So he lied for clicks. Good for him.
To answer your question, Austin, I don't think there is a.
That's why you keep him, because if you're gonna fire him for $70+ million, you better have a guaranteed winner on
Here's
deck.
Here's the thing. You can go, honestly, here's what I do. I don't even know who freaking Kirby's coordinators are. Yeah, probably go after one of them.
Probably.
Lanning was one. Kirby was Saban disciple.
Lanning
Kirby
was a
had
good
never
one.
been a head coach.
You're taking the Nick Saban risk, though.
Except for Nick, I wouldn't even say go after Saban's coordinators because they seem to suck.
Correct.
I would go after Kirby's.
Kirby is a Saban impersonator.
Yeah,
so.
And I'm fine with that. Kirby's
a dog.
Never head coach. Goes to Georgia, changes the program immediately.
Yeah, but
he was Saban guy.
That's very rare. You're never gonna out Saban, and like Kirby's trying like we don't have to play Kirby very often, but we got to play Saban every year.
I know people hate it, and it's not a known quantity.
Lane Kiffin.
Is Lane Kiffin on the table?
I don't like Lane Kiffin at all.
No,
I love
Lane is worse than Jimbo.
That is a poor man's Lincoln Riley.
His offense is good.
Also, we
see how that works out.
You could offer me Lincoln Riley plus $1 billion, and I still don't want Lincoln Riley.
No,
I don't want Lincoln Riley.
Wait, time out. Can I have Lincoln Riley and pick my own defense coordinator without?
No, Lincoln Riley can be co-head coach with Mike Elko.
That would be legit as fuck.
Lincoln Riley would be a great offensive coordinator.
Yeah, he'd be my co-head coach, him and Mike Elko.
All right. Could we have Cliff come back as the OC?
Oh, God.
No. Gosh, no.
He's with Lincoln. He's with Lincoln. I saw him on the field last week.
Yeah, he's the quarterback coach, bro. My dude went from the head coach of the Cardinals to the quarterback coach.
He's probably getting paid more.
And he's living in California.
You know what? And also, Caleb Williams
his quarterback is trash.
Caleb Williams is going to be the biggest bust the world's ever seen.
I would agree with that as well.
Okay, but
all this talk about he's the next John Elway and blah, blah, blah. He sucks. That dude is terrible at football.
I'm still on the side of stealing Dan Lanning.
Dan Lanning is a fine choice for me, or whoever is the coach of the Washington Huskies is also.
Bro.
Don't know his name.
That dude's 48 years old.
What's his name?
That dude's 48 years old. If we could get him now and lock him in.
I want him. I don't even know his name.
DeBoer. But he played at Washington, though. He ain't going nowhere.
Sure he is. Washington? Do you know the difference between Oregon can pay their coach a lot of money because Nike is literally across the street. Washington Huskies have $0. You know how we could win over him? With money.
The funny part about that whole scenario is they've been in the playoff, twice?
Yeah. Oh, they stunk it up both times.
Who cares? I'd rather make the playoffs than not make the playoffs.
My dude.
I agree, Austin. Do you realize how many testicles I would chop off to make the playoffs?
You only got 2, buddy, so be careful.
No, at this rate, I got 2, 4, 6. I got 6 of them sons of guns.
He didn't say they were going to be his testicles.
Oh, he didn't play at Washington. We're good. We can go after him.
There you go. All right. Hey, we just did like 35 minutes on A&M. We got to move on. This podcast is definitely not going to be watched by anybody because we didn't talk about anything college football, and there is 5 minutes left. There's 5 minutes left in the episode, and we just spent the entire hour talking about a team that is 4-3.
Well, we never have to talk about them again. So
this is not our chance for success, people. All right. Georgia lost Brock Bowers, but won a football game, so good for them.
And it won't matter. It won't
Brock
matter.
Bowers.
No, Brock Bowers matters.
It won't because their schedule. It won't because their schedule.
See the timeline?
But is he going to be back in time?
Did you see
I
the
believe
timeline?
it's 4 to 6 weeks.
4 to 6 weeks, and 6 weeks puts them in the SEC championship area.
Okay.
Tua came back after 4, I believe.
Right, that's
Tua
fine.
Came back
if he can play when the times matter, that's fine. But if he can't play postseason,
he'll definitely be back in time for the playoff.
You say that, but you can suffer injury setbacks. Like,
well, that's true.
If he has any kind of setback and can't play in the championship game or the playoffs, like Georgia will lose.
Hey, he's the most legit prospect out of this whole class.
Oh, yeah. He's the best player in football.
No,
he's the best
If
player.
you scale, okay, that's fair if you, scale the positions.
Scale the positions, he's the best player.
But I'll never say a tight end is the greatest player in football.
No, yeah, but would you rather?
My dude is single-handedly winning games.
I agree with that. He beat Auburn on his own.
This is naive, but if I'm an NFL GM, I'd rather have Brock Bowers than Caleb Williams on my team.
Honestly, no, I don't know about that.
Depends on who you are.
Yeah, it depends on what team I am.
Well, yeah, that's obvious, but I'm saying if I'm the Chicago Bears, I'd rather have Brock Bowers than Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams will for sure get a GM fired in the future. Whoever it is, probably the Bears, maybe. I don't know.
Nah, they won't move on from Justin Fields.
Nope.
It don't matter. But
Caleb Williams sucks at football. I'm sorry.
He doesn't suck at football, but he's not.
He hasn't ever had to play real.
He is not the answer.
Okay, I heard this. This is a good lesson or practice, whatever the hell they call it. Name any quarterback out of the Lincoln Riley system that has had success in the NFL. And Jalen Hurts doesn't count because where did he learn his tutelage? Nick Saban. So go from there.
What do you count as success as the NFL?
I count as a winning quarterback.
Kyler Murray got paid.
He got paid, but was he a winning
Baker
quarterback?
Mayfield's winning right now.
He's winning right now. Okay. He's been okay.
I mean, Baker Mayfield's been a starter since he came.
Shane, I don't disagree with your take. If my team was picking number 1, I would they'd be forced to take him, but I would not be that thrilled about it.
I like Drake May a whole lot more.
I'd rather be picking in the 7 to 9 range and get one of those guys.
I like Drake May's arm.
I mean, we've been over this so many times. Just like you don't ever take a quarterback in the first round or whatever, the first many rounds of fantasy football. But in the first round of the NFL draft, the first 10 picks should be nothing but O and defensive line.
Yep.
Every single time. Unless there's just a freak of nature. Why? Sorry. I will now amend also wide receiver because
Marvin Harrison Jr.
Rookie wide receivers that have it are now proving to be useful in the NFL.
Marvin
you should also never draft a running back never.
Third round is a running back.
No. Not in any 7 rounds. Go to Gold's Gym.
Oh, you're saying never draft a running back.
You should never, ever draft a running back in the NFL. You should go down to Gold's Gym, ask everyone to run a 40. Whoever runs a 4.5 and under, you put them in pads and you teach them how to read a hole. They will be just as equivalent as 90% of all running backs.
The running backs would probably prefer that too.
20 years.
The running backs would prefer that too because I believe that gets them out of their first contract quicker.
There you go. Go to Golds.
The Cowboys did it forever.
Sorry, it doesn't have to be a Golds. You can hit up Planet Fitness,
Planet
or
Fitness
Lifetime, or whatever you need to. But go to the gym and pick up a random guy.
Dogs because it's cheap.
Yeah, Planet Fitness got the dogs.
Lincoln Riley does not have any success rate at developing NFL-style quarterbacks. None.
I mean, neither did Ohio State, but then, C.J. Stroud looks pretty good, so.
Yeah, I think it's a player individual basis.
I think it's just that they go from – I think what happens is like Caleb Williams, for example, is just like, oh, I'm going to cakewalk through college football, except for I'm never going to make the playoffs. And he thinks – he's like, I'm going to style myself after Patrick Mahomes. And no one, even Patrick Mahomes, should style their strategy after Patrick Mahomes because it is incredibly dangerous and it's not going to work for 99% of people. And a lot of times it doesn't even work for Patrick Mahomes. So it's just like, hey, that should not be your strategy. Everyone's strategy should be play like Tom Brady because it's proven to work.
That's what I've been saying for years.
But it doesn't mean that Tom Brady is the greatest football player of all time.
Why do you like Tom Brady,
He's quarterback of all time.
Also not true. All right, keep it moving. Michigan and Ohio State, I think they've figured themselves out.
They're on a collision course for each other.
Yeah. Ohio State, we already talked about this a lot. Ohio State's going to steamroll Penn State this weekend, and then we'll be back to what.
I hope Penn State makes it a game, but I have my doubts.
Should the Big Ten realign their conferences with the newcomers just so we don't have to?
Don't have to.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, but we shouldn't have Ohio State and Michigan as a prelude to the Big Ten championship. We should have that as the Big Ten championship.
Well, that'll never happen, but
yeah, no, I'm not a fan of that. All right,
they'll always be playing Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah.
I'm fine with them playing, but
then they play 2 weeks in a row.
I don't want to see Ohio State or Michigan versus Iowa. That's stupid. It's a waste of time.
Boy, we're gonna see it again this year. So
yep. I know.
And Iowa's gonna win the East, dude.
Yeah. They are because the East is terrible.
Yeah.
That's Johnny.
They're gonna win the
East.
Made
my point.
They're gonna win the East and still have to fire their offense coordinator because
also
can't score.
How is Iowa the East?
Because they're the West, I thought.
Yeah, they're the West. I was like, Iowa is west of Michigan and Ohio, so that's weird.
Yeah,
all right.
West. My bad. I swapped it.
The big game of the weekend, and it lived up to the hype. Oregon versus Washington was incredible.
That was an awesome football game.
Great game. Penix has got to be the leader for the Heisman right now, right?
I don't think anyone's close.
I think he is the leader.
Yeah, I'm sure he is.
He is currently the betting favorite.
His numbers are insane.
They were good. I'll take the
I still don't think Washington can win the national title, but I think they're a fun team to watch.
Washington is going to lose to the Beavers. Just you wait.
Their defense is just not there all the time. That's the problem. Their offense is legit. It's their defense is just not always there.
Also, got a little screwed by the polls this week, it only being at number 5.
That was shocking to me.
I guess everyone else is also undefeated in front of them, but
it'll solve itself in the Pac-12, especially because they're going to play 4 more ranked teams probably.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, Washington still has to play USC, Utah, and Oregon State, and those are in back-to-back-to-back weeks. So it's at the very end, which USC is not good, but also Caleb Williams can score points.
Oh, right? That game will be – bet the over on that one. That will be 65-63.
Yeah, Utah probably is going to have their quarterback back at this point in time, even though their season is over.
I think Utah's quarterback is dead.
Yeah, he might be dead in a ditch somewhere, and that's just
he's never coming back.
Is he not playing for the NFL?
Is he trying to be Trey Lance?
Y'all shamed me. I said
I
don't know
what for the NFL.
I don't think he's an NFL quarterback, but I think he's got a freaking agent in his ear telling him, "Hey, you're going to be a 2nd or 3rd round pick. Don't screw it up. Just sit on
No way
the bench."
is he a 2nd or 3rd round pick. You think he go that high?
Know. I don't claim to be a.
I think he could go
might get drafted
third, but I think he's more of a fifth.
I think he's more undrafted than he is.
I was gonna say I'm thinking he might get drafted, but he's a Gardner Minshew. I mean, he's just Gardner Minshew 2.0.
Yeah,
I don't even think he's that. I think he's a poor man's Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, that's fine.
Which is way worse.
The same style of Gardner Minshew, but that's about it. I don't think he's that. I mean, he's a good college quarterback. There's a lot of good college quarterbacks. Would you take Bo Nix in top 3 rounds? No. Bo Nix is going to be Sam Ehlinger 2.0.
Johnny Manziel.
Throws to the other team.
Sam Ehlinger. Bo Nix and Sam Ehlinger is a good comparison.
He's just going to throw it to the other team all the time.
You got to – the reason I think God, man, his name's slipping my mind. Utah's
Cam
Rising. I think Cam has a better chance than Bo Nix because of his arm talent.
I don't see it. And it's been a while since I've seen him play. Fair enough.
His arm talent is there, and he wins big games.
In college, though, I just don't see it.
His defense wins big games. You would say that as a Tom Brady supporter. All right, we talked about all the teams. The only other teams that I wanted to talk about, Notre Dame has got to be kicking themselves for their 2 terrible losses after they whooped USC. I mean, if they don't put 10 people on the field twice against Ohio State and win that game, they're guaranteed the playoffs. But of course, they choke and do the things. And North Carolina might be legit.
Oh, dude, I like them a lot.
Well, you always said that Duke is going to win the ACC, so you're going to choose out of the rivals there. That's you can't pick.
The only problem with the ACC is I think if you lose one game, you're done.
Probably.
Yeah.
So, because I think the Pac-12.
You're done from the playoff for sure.
Yeah, I think the Pac-12 is getting somebody in. The SEC is going to get somebody in. Rightfully so or not, the Big Ten is definitely going to get somebody in. So,
I mean, the SEC and the Big Ten definitely should get somebody in because Georgia's definitely going to win the SEC, and they're going to be undefeated.
Yeah,
and
they're starting to figure it out too.
You can't let back-to-back national champion go undefeated and win the conference and not put them in the playoff. Like that just, and then the Big
Michigan,
Ten,
Ohio State's in.
Whoever makes it out of the Big Ten is also going to be undefeated, whether it's Michigan or Ohio State. And
the question will be if Texas and OU end up playing each other again, what happens there?
It's whoever wins the last. I mean, that's easy. I think you're more likely to get Michigan and Ohio State, have both of them in the playoff than you are going to have Texas OU be a controversy.
Oh, no, I don't think both of them could get in. I think it'd be interesting to see, let's say there's a 1-loss Ohio State or Michigan. OU and Texas both have 1 loss. Undefeated Pac-12 champ, undefeated SEC champ, undefeated ACC champ.
In that scenario, I guarantee you they put Michigan in the playoff.
I think they'll leave the Big 12 out.
I think a 1-loss Oklahoma, Texas versus Michigan, they put Michigan in the playoffs. Or Ohio State, either or.
I would agree with that.
Which is absolutely insane to me, but whatever.
Which is why we need the 12-team playoff.
Which is why we need the 8-team playoff. Exactly.
Or whatever. We need more. We need teams.
I agree with you, Blake. We need the 8-team playoff.
We need more teams.
16.
All right.
However many it takes to get the Aggies in the playoffs, I want that.
We need 64-team playoff.
I love how Blake and I just knew. It's definitely 64 because we're bad. All right, that's going to do it. We got to wrap it up. It's been over an hour on college football, and we spent like barely any time talking about college football. I promise, in the future, we will do a better job at talking about all the games.
Can we just talk about how Dion blew?
Oh,
that was terrible.
How did I not write that on the freaking script?
That is crazy.
Can I say I turned it off at 29-0 at half, and then I flipped back, and it was 29-21 or something. I was like, what in the world?
Friday night, I'm at a bar, post ACL. We're watching the people go by, having some drinks. It's 29-0. We go back to the condo, go to sleep. It's like, I don't know, it's late. It's like midnight Central Time. So, the game's barely started. It's 29-0 at halftime when we go to bed. Wake up in the morning, couldn't find my phone, searched the condo, quietly because there's 3 people in this. The condo is a studio, so there's no doors or whatever. Gotta be quiet. Finally find my phone, and I'm just sitting there looking through the things, and I go through Twitter and ESPN and all my normal morning routine, and I'm like, these people, and I see Shane's text. Shane's text is what got me started. Shane text, bad look for Dion. And I'm like, oh, like, what did he say in his post-game conference? Did he, like, rub it in their face? Did he push a kid? What happened? And I go and look, and just everyone's freaking out about Colorado losing. I'm like, I'm getting punked. Like, everyone's in on it. There's no way they lost this football game to atrocious Stanford at home.
Yep.
When they were up 29-0. And then my father-in-law, when he wakes up and we're talking, and I was like, hey, remember that football game we were watching last night? Stanford won. And he was just like, ah, ha, 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 you're so funny. And I was like, no, seriously. Stanford won. And he was like, shut up. And I was like, dude. And so then we like put the highlights on the TV and watched the game. It was insane.
I fell asleep after the Stanford touchdown when they got the ball on the 2-yard line and Colorado was all celebrating. 1 play, 98 yards, touchdown. And there was nobody even near him. Travis Hunter, not a good corner.
Nope.
Bro, first off, you want to talk about coaching malpractice. This guy has not played in a month. And you start him on both ends of the ball and play him the entire game.
I think he gave up 140 yards on like to the receivers.
Yeah. He hasn't played in a month. Why is he starting on both sides of the ball, and why is he playing the entire game?
Yeah.
The thing is, he played good as a receiver too.
Even when he hasn't done that, he should no one should play both sides of the ball.
Secondly, why are you taking the kick? Why are you taking the ball at overtime every time? Why is Dion the only coach in the country taking the ball first at overtime?
It rotates.
No, he won the flip and wanted the kick and wanted the ball.
I didn't even see that. That is coaching malpractice.
He's the only coach in the country that has done it.
So he's trying
this year, and he's done it twice.
So he's trying to put pressure on the other team's offense to be like, we're going to score, so you better get ready to score too.
But why?
But it gives the other team the advantage because they get 4 plays instead of 3 plays.
That doesn't make any. It doesn't make any sense. I've never seen a coach do it.
Dude, that's because no other coach does it.
Does he think he's watching NFL football where you do want the ball first?
Bro, I
think he's trying to be. He's trying to be slick.
I think he's so full of himself.
Yeah, I think so too.
That he thinks he's smarter than everybody else, and I think he's playing himself.
Has he trained all of his captains to, no matter what on a coin toss, say that we defer?
I don't know. It's his fucking son.
Surely they would know before they walk out there. He should be saying. He should literally be like. Also, Shadur's Twitter tweeting out merch links during halftime. Not a good look.
Nope.
Dude, what the fuck? Okay. I'm gonna go on a second rant. 10 seconds, real flat, bro. You cannot speak about respect and being humble and being this great man, and then your son acts like a fucking thug life motherfucker who should get beat the fuck up.
Also, you can't speak about respect and all those things when you don't show anyone any of the things you say. Yeah,
dude, fuck Deion Sanders, fuck his sons. That whole family is so fucked. It's not even funny. That guy is
we all knew that.
A fraud. His whole life's a fraud. All he says is bullshit. It's just for the cameras. It's just for the clicks. Fuck him. Fuck his son. I hope his son does go to the NFL. And I hope his son fucking sucks. I hope he gets killed. First season, bust. Complete bust. Because fuck that kid, dude.
I think the media.
That's gonna do it for the Football is King podcast episode.
I hope he flashes that Rolex on the fucking street one day, and some real thug beats his fucking ass and takes that goddamn watch off his fucking wrist. Fuck you, Sherrod.
We took it too far. We were right on the line, and it was good. And then you just had to step over it. Colorado's really bad at football.
Yeah, they're bad.
Blake was really excited. He's like, they won all their games. They're gonna maybe win a couple more.
No, they're bad.
They might lose them all.
I literally said,
even
after they won the first 4, I said they're going to lose 7 games.
I hope they lose every single game for the rest of the season. I hope we expose how Deion's such a fucking fraud.
And that's going to do it this week, folks. I think that's a great place to wrap it up. We'll see you next time. I promise we'll talk about less A&M things next time because A&M has a bye week.
We'll
so we'll cover all the teams that actually matter because A&M
is
useless. We can find a way. Like, subscribe, all the things. We're really appreciative of all the things. Check out tomorrow's episode where we talk about the NFL, where we're going to talk about so many great things about Taylor Swift again.
What's the betting record look like?
We are going to have a great bit about In-N-Out Burger. I just have a really good feeling about that's going to happen. And the fact that Josh Allen is a big old bitch. And we appreciate all y'all for listening, and we'll talk to y'all next time.
Fuck you, Deion.
Perfect.